What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nash, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can get internships in college without a great GPA. So when I was in college, my GPA was around a 2.6 to a 2.9. So if I had a bad semester, it'd be a 2.67. If I had a good semester, it'd be a 2.8 or 2.9. Now, when I was in college, I also had 5 different internships, and I'm going to be explaining how I did it with that GPA. So you might have a 2-point-something GPA, a 3-point-something GPA, a 1-point-something. This is going to help you. It doesn't matter what your GPA is. Now, before I even get into how you guys can do that, I want to explain something about, these internships that require GPA. So now, if a company is a popular company per se, and like this thing about Apple, or let's say SpaceX or Tesla, this is a company that's really popular. Now, if they have an internship position, everyone that's an engineering major or everyone that's interested in doing what Tesla does or SpaceX does, they're going to apply to that internship, right? The only problem is it is limited. They cannot have everyone intern with them. They have to make a choice as to who's going to get that internship. And in order to do that, one of the ways to do that is by having a GPA requirement. So this is, for the most part, used to kind of like cut out a lot of people. And while it might be used to measure intelligence to a certain degree, but I think it's used to kind of like cut out a lot of people. So if they say you need at least a 3.7 GPA, now if you have a 3.5, you're not going to apply, right? You're not going to waste your time doing that. This kind of like excludes a lot of people that are that do not have those GPA requirements, and those people might actually be smarter than the people that have the 3.7 GPA. When I was in college, I witnessed a lot of people chase their GPA, right? It's people that would memorize the exams, and some of these people did not know how to apply that knowledge to real life, but they were just able to take exams. And I've met some really smart people like myself that are not just good at taking exams, right? You can ask me to explain something to you and I'll explain it perfectly, but if you try to test me on it or quiz me on it, I'm not going to do well. I'm just not great at taking exams. But that doesn't mean that I'm not smart. So if jobs use a GPA to kind of like cut out the people that are not smart, then it's probably not a good idea for them to do that. That's why I think that this is simply used to kind of like cut out a lot of people. And for some jobs or internships, I think having a great GPA shows that you work really hard, right? So you can kind of like, connect those two. You have a 4.0 GPA, that means that you work really hard for it, right? So you deserve the job because you're a hard worker. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you know how to apply the knowledge that you gained from getting that GPA into the actual job. But that's just my 2-second rant on GPAs. All right, so the biggest thing that I would tell you when it comes to getting an internship without a GPA, without a great GPA, is gonna be do not apply to internships. That's gonna be the best advice I could give you. Instead of applying to, if you go on the JP Morgan website, you're gonna see, you go to the undergrad jobs or internships, you're gonna see they have a whole program, right? In order to get into that, you need a great GPA. And if you don't have a great GPA, you're disqualified from it. Now, don't do that. Apply for part-time jobs, right? Do not apply for internships, apply for part-time jobs. So part-time jobs might be 30 hours a week, 15 hours a week. They might be on a contract basis, right? We need a financial analyst for 6 months. That's the contract. Or that works 30 hours a week or 2 days a week or work from home, things like that. You need to apply for part-time jobs. Now, when you put that on your resume, you can put it in as an internship if you feel like you want it to be like that, but I recommend putting it as a part-time job because that separates you from someone who had an internship, right? Now, I want you to tell me which one sounds better. You have 2 people. One has a financial analyst experience as an intern, and one has the same experience but as a part-time worker, right? I'm gonna pick the part-time worker because I'm gonna assume that they know more. And it's not just an assumption. I believe that when you're actually doing an internship, it is a lot easier than working a part-time job, right? Because a part-time job, you get on the job training really fast and you're actually doing work, right? It's not just intern work, you're doing actual work. So I feel like you always get a lot of experience and you get to really decide if you wanna do that when you graduate. So that's why I always recommend applying to part-time jobs. Now, you might have the best GPA to qualify for, those internships that have GPA requirements, but I also recommend applying for part-time jobs in the exact field that you want to work in. So for finance, for example, you can apply for part-time financial analyst positions, right? That's the thing. Sometimes it's a contract for 6 months, for 2 months, for a month. Sometimes, you don't get to work crazy hours, obviously, because you're working part-time, and you can do this in the summer. You can do this, you can look for remote positions. Those are the opportunities that you have. If you are someone that's going to go into accounting, you can look for staff accountant part-time jobs. You're going to find the same things, and you can literally look this up on Google. And if you don't feel like looking for those jobs yourself, you can actually find one of those staffing agencies. I think I made a video on staffing agencies, how you can just put your information on there, and when there's a contract position that's for 6 months is open, they'll reach out to you, right? Because you're one of the people in their network. Now, right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and Google part-time finance jobs. So I'm finding things like financial services officer, part-time. I'm finding things like associate banker. If you want to get into commercial banking, get some banking jobs. There's a lot of kind of like data entry level part-time banking jobs that are super easy to get. I'm looking at part-time jobs like credit analyst. I'm looking at financial accountant. All right, so if you are going to take anything away from this video, I want you to remember that if you do not have a good GPA, right, do not waste your time applying to internships that actually require you to have a GPA. Apply to part-time jobs. And for some of these part-time jobs, you're going to be able to make your schedule. Since it's part-time and you're not working 40 hours a week for the most part, you can kind of like build your work schedule around your school schedule. If you are taking class or if you're still in school, you're going to be able to do that. And there's so many of those, and you don't have to work the part-time job forever, right? You can switch from the other one. If you don't like finance, you can switch to an accounting part-time job. And once again, these part-time jobs are super easy to find, and they're always easy to get because employers actually don't have to give you benefits. So they're more willing to give away those jobs to anybody, really, because it's not a lot for them to do, right? You're just a part-time worker. But at the same time, you're getting a lot of experience. And if you feel like you need to, if you're building your resume, you can even put that on as an internship, right? Because technically it is an internship. If you don't feel like identifying it as a part-time job, you can put internship because it is technically an internship. But I think you should put it as a part-time job because I think it sounds a lot better. If you are comparing someone who had an internship and someone who actually had the part-time job, was actually doing the work, I'm going to pick someone who had the part-time job because it looks like they have more experience, which they do. But that is pretty much it for this video. Let me know if I missed anything, if you guys want to add anything else to this. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Those are going to be better than those are going to be better than internships, because those are going to be better than those are going to be better than those are going to be better than an internship, simply because you can kind of like do exactly what you want to do, right?